Well, this is a conversation that's going to get most people happy, isn't it? Yeah, this is totally not going to ruffle some feathers. Let's talk today about two of my favorite teams, the Vancouver Canucks and the Detroit Red Wings, in an article on the Hockey News that goes out there and links both of them together. Now, I'll be honest, the way I stumbled across this article was on sports.yahoo.com. It's a very weird kind of double-sided way of accessing the hockey news. It's kind of interesting, but today we're continuing our conversation about Vancouver goaltending and what exactly the Canucks have as options to try to bolster up their club with all the uncertainty surrounding Thatcher Demko and potentially even Artur Silayev. The team signed Dylan Ferguson, former NHL prospect and last year a KHL goalie, to a PTO, but with the opportunity for them to still get other guys, to still actually acquire a goaltender that can be an NHL caliber guy and actually show off immediately as that kind of player. Dylan Ferguson, while he's a good ad in terms of having enough bodies, he's not necessarily somebody you can peg in as an NHL player already. Today we're going over to an article that proposes the Canucks take advantage of a different goaltending situation from around the NHL. Here's a piece published by Adam Kierszenblat from 2 days ago, how the Canucks could benefit from the Red Wings' current goaltending situation. Okay, where's this one gonna go? The article opens up by talking about how the Canucks have themselves the Thatcher Demko situation, and while they have been looking around for goaltenders on free agency contracts and PTO deals, they could find a solution in the form of the Detroit Red Wings, who currently have a logjam of goaltenders at both the NHL, AHL, and ECHL levels. Heading into 24-25, the Wings have 4 goaltenders signed to NHL contracts. On top of Ville Husso and Alex Lyon, who were there with the team last season, Detroit added Cam Talbot as well as Jack Campbell on July 1st. They also have Gage Alexander, who looks ready to make the jump to the NHL, as well as Sebastian Cossa, who has earned a starter job in the AHL. Ultimately, the Red Wings have too many goalies and will need to make some moves before the start of the regular season. Now, pause. I had no idea that Gage Alexander, a guy in the Tulsa Oilers system in the ECHL last season, looks ready to make the jump to the NHL. That's just not happening. Sorry, writer Adam Kierszenblat. In fact, I actually do kind of know the guy personally. I see him once in a while in a local hockey league that I'm a part of. But Gage Alexander probably isn't going to be making the jump to the NHL anytime soon. Sebastian Cossa, though, he's probably still going to be rounding out his game in the AHL. But even still, like you think about it, Ville Husso, Alex Lyon, Cam Talbot, Jack Campbell, that's 4 guys on NHL deals. One of them's probably going to be in the AHL, like Campbell, for example. So you're going to have a bunch of dudes kind of rotating around there in the bottom of their AHL system. Detroit's problem could be the Canucks' solution, Kierszenblat writes, as multiple goaltenders will likely be put on waivers to start the year. The most likely candidates are Campbell and Lyon, who both have plenty of NHL experience, and with both players having a cap hit of under $1 million, a waiver claim on either could be a short-term solution for Vancouver if the opportunity presents itself. Now I'm going to say this right here. If Alex Lyon gets placed on waivers this upcoming year, I'm going to eat my hat. That guy is going to be the backup to Cam Talbot this season, and it's not even close. The only reason the Red Wings would think about putting Alex Lyon on waivers is if they wanted to commit full-time to Ville Husso being the backup, and they would only want to do that because he's making $4.75 million a year. Ville Husso was so inferior to Alex Lyon in the most recent season of play, and there is no reason for the Wings to not have any instilled confidence in Alex Lyon and his overall profile. Lyon was the guy. And if there's anything about the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman is that there is some sort of loyalty that gets rewarded if you have been good and you have been utilized. Maybe even to a fault. This loyalty does exist for some players. Lyon just happens to be the guy that pretty much carried the Wings last year, and because of that, I have a very difficult time imagining that Stevie Y is going to put Lyon on waivers to start out the year. Now, as for Jack Campbell, yeah, he's waiver eligible according to the contract that is written out here on Puckpedia.com. And honestly, when you think about that, you think, okay, yeah, the Wings are going to have to send somebody down Who's expecting Jack Campbell to get claimed off of waivers? The guy had a terrible year this previous season. He became an AHL caliber guy. He was good to decent in the AHL, which is not what you wanted to see out of a guy who was making $5 million a year with the Edmonton Oilers. Is why they bought him out after all. But Jack Campbell coming over to Vancouver, let's say he gets placed on waivers to start out the year, and Patrick Allvin's like, hey, we need a goalie, Jack Campbell's right there. Firstly, Vancouver would be pretty low down on the waiver wire order. They were a pretty good team this previous season, but, I mean, look, what other team is going out there and claiming Jack Campbell? I think for the Vancouver Canucks, if they had this situation where it's like they don't know if Demko's available, they need an extra guy to back up Artur Shilovs, and they're not confident in Yuri Patera to be that guy, they don't think Dylan Ferguson is good enough for a regular deal, if they decide to get somebody like Jack Campbell off of waivers, should he be available in that capacity, that would be so funny. So funny. 1 year ago, Vancouver Canucks fans were clowning the hell out of Jack Campbell because of all the goals that he would let in against the Vancouver Canucks in the first 2 games of the season. Him and Stuart Skinner, they were both not great, and they both had very equally bad save percentages. It's just Campbell's never really got any better. Stuart Skinner was able to kind of rebound. He even eliminated the Vancouver Canucks in the second round of the playoffs this previous year, so whoop-de-doo. And he did sustain reasonable goaltending to the point that they reached Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So Stuart Skinner, he started to build up that benefit of the doubt for himself. Jack Campbell, though, had absolutely no business being in the NHL last season, and if you think about the quality of play he had, he was good enough in the AHL to continue playing there, but still, with the goaltending and the rotating around of guys in Edmonton, it was understandable as to why they let him go. This is where Kierszenblat goes out there and writes about the 2 goaltenders. He talks about how Lyon would be the best option, but of course I don't think that Lyon is going to be an opportunity here for Vancouver that the Wings would even think about putting on waivers. As for Jack Campbell, though, this is what Kierszenblat writes, there are some positives that could make him a beneficial addition to the Canucks. He was able to find his footing in the AHL, going 18-13-1, and he does have experience playing in Canadian markets. While he may not be the ideal choice for Vancouver, bringing the 32-year-old in may not be a bad option if injury trouble hits the organization at the start of the year. In the end, the Canucks are in a complicated situation, especially if Demko is not ready for the season. Yes, they do have Shilovs and Patera, but the 2 come into the season with less than 30 NHL games of experience combined. While bringing in one of the Red Wings goaltenders may only be a short-term fix, it would be beneficial as it would add a more experienced goaltender to Vancouver's crease. And that is something that I'll agree on there with the writer here on the Hockey News. Jack Campbell, I kind of want to make it happen, you know? Like, I think if you've been following the channel long enough, you know that I absolutely love chaos. Not only do I love rampant, crazy trade rumors, but I love chaos. I love when things actually happen, and things that are beyond our wildest dreams get placed down. Like, players going to teams that are absolutely ironic, situations between fans and players that are totally flipped on inside out 1 year later. Those kinds of situations I absolutely dig up. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that this one is a possibility? Do you think the Wings will put either Lyon or Campbell, okay, let's realistically just say Campbell, on waivers to start the season? And do you think the Canucks actually have themselves an opportunity to claim them? We know you don't really have room for 4 goalies in the NHL level, and with Campbell, Husso, Lyon, and Talbot all being there, the Red Wings might not have a choice but to put one of these guys down. And if Jack Campbell is the guy going to the AHL, then hey, watch out. I mean, look, I'm just operating at all of this from the assumption that Campbell would require waivers to get sent down. That's what Puckpedia goes out there and says, that his waiver eligibility is there. So I'm going to trust them. I hope that they're as reliable as cap friendly when it comes to this type of stuff. I honestly don't know what would cause somebody to not be eligible for waivers unless they signed a 2-way deal, but no, Campbell does have a 1-way contract right now with the Detroit Red Wings. Either way, though, this is a pretty reasonable conversation to have, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Campbell to Vancouver, yay or nay? Detroit fans, does this happen? Detroit fans, would you be pissed off if this happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.